Hey guys, I'm Joy Harris Bird, and this is my Creator Talk. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Create a talk.
All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. Again, I'm Joy Harris Bird, author, filmmaker, director, and the CEO of Joy Park Studios. And I am joined again this week with
Kyle Bird, the CFO of Joy Park Studios, executive director of the newest film to come out, which is Deliver Us, and just all around good guy.
you
Period.
better talk yourself up. Yes.
Listen.
So we are back this week with our new series, Things No One Told You About Making a Film. And this week we wanted to talk about festival strategy and distribution. This is a big one, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm really
Absolutely.
excited to dive into this because honestly, I feel like most directors, filmmakers, they think that once you finish your film, like you're good. Like that was the hardest part. But honestly, that's really when the real work begins.
Mm-hmm.
Like festivals and distribution, it's really not luck, it's strategy. Like you have to have a strategy when it comes to submitting your film and the distribution of your film. Honestly, the thing is, thinking like a filmmaker, it really, you have to think about building your career. It's not just about making a film. You're not
Right.
just submitting a film, you are submitting your vision, your idea for the world to see. So, I mean, I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted you to just kind of talk about the strategy portion of it, like when it comes to submitting your film to festivals, like how important is it for you to have a strategy?
When you are filming and when you are done filming your film, congratulations. We're excited for you. Now the work really begins.
Right.
Now is really the time to where you need to figure out what type of festivals that you're looking to go into. If you actually have a goal, do you want your film to be on a specific platform, or do you just want it to build like your own channel, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or whichever way you decide to go? You really have to have somewhat of a strategy in order to know exactly where your goal is. And so festival runs are very important. So um, I mean, I can dive in, or we could just
Well,
kind of like teeter
honestly, I kind of
totter.
just wanted to talk about like, so Bloom was the first film that we completed. And so when we
Right.
did Bloom, it was more so like kind of a proof of concept. We're getting into film. This is what we're doing. So we really had a plan for that. We knew we weren't really going to like try to seek distribution. But I just decided to randomly enter it into a festival. I didn't really have a strategy for it. I just kind of wanted to
Hmm.
see what would happen. I remember being so surprised when I got the email and it was just like, congratulations, your film has been selected as an official, like it won the award, like it was the best short film. I was like, wait a minute, what are you
Yeah.
like? Honestly, I mean, I wasn't expecting to win anything. I just kind of wanted to see how the process was, and so from there, it just kind of made me want to start submitting it to other places, and it started winning a couple other festivals, but we didn't really have like a strategy for it, right? Like, what
No,
did you
not at
think?
all.
Like when we submitted Bloom and we won the festival, like what was going through your head?
Man, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. I knew when we submitted Bloom, it was more so to, like you said, understand the process of submitting films, what they look for, the ins and outs of it, because all festivals are not created equal. Some festivals have a lot of different requirements involved. And so when you won your first festival, I think it was Tampa, if I'm not mistaken, when you won it, you was like, Kyle, you're not going to
Daytona.
believe
It was
this.
Daytona Beach.
Daytona.
Yeah,
I knew it was Florida somewhere. I
right.
couldn't remember. But yeah, you was like, Kyle, you're going to believe this. Bloom just won a festival. I was like, do what? Not that we didn't
Right.
believe that it was good, but we were just like, oh, really? And so from there on, we really was like, okay, so if it's great enough, if it's good enough to win a festival, let's see if we can't put some structure, which is something that we talked about last week, something that you definitely need in filmmaking. Let's see if we can put a structure and strategy into the different festivals that we enter into, that makes sense for the genre that Bloom was in. And so, because of that, we were able to win a few more festivals, which we were very excited about. And so, it just goes to show you how much strategy and thought process actually goes into doing festivals. And so, that's how I felt. I was not shocked because it was a great film. However, I was shocked that it actually won a festival on its first run, on our
Right.
first film.
Yeah.
And so, that was an amazing day, though.
Yeah, it really was. And I think you said something there about kind of like seeking out festivals that have to do with the genre of our film. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But one thing I wanted to say is that we talked about like how great we felt and how we were so excited. But something I really want to let all filmmakers know, any aspiring filmmakers know, that a festival is not validation. You know, your
No.
worth as a filmmaker is not determined by acceptances or rejections. Honestly, the festival is for visibility. So when you're
Right.
going into this strategy, you want to think about how can I find my audience and my community at this festival?
Mhm.
Every
Absolutely.
film festival has a different personality. Just some of the ones that I know that we did with Bloom, with the People's Film Festival, Daytona Beach Film Festival. Then there was the International Film Festival. Each one of those festivals are different. You know, while there are filmmakers there, they just have a different community for each one. So when you're going into it, don't get discouraged if you get rejections, because we got rejections too. We definitely didn't win or even get selected for
Absolutely.
every festival that we submitted to. So don't get
Absolutely.
discouraged if you're not being accepted. Just really think about it like this is visibility, so this is really where you want to have your strategy come into play. So I really want to just kind of talk about how do you build a smart festival plan, because that's
Mm.
really the name of the game. That's what you're trying to do. How can I build a plan as to where my film is going to get in front of the people that it needs to get in front of? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, you definitely want to do your research. You have to do your research because, once again, all festivals are not created equal. It makes no sense for Bloom, as wonderful a film of that as that was, to be in a festival that that's more so for like sci-fi and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That makes absolutely no sense. You're not only gonna win, you're not only gonna not win, but you're gonna be looked at as they didn't even pay attention to the assignment. You know.
Exactly.
And so, that's very important to have a plan and a strategy.
Yeah, I would say like number one, you want to categorize your festivals. You want to,
Mhm.
are you trying to do local? Are you trying to do like regional? Are you trying to do international? You want to categorize each festival that you want to submit to. And then I think the second thing that you want to do is like what we just said, you want to do your research. Like, don't just go off of the name, because there's several festivals that we can name right now that are like bigger name festivals. Don't just go off of that. You want to
Mhm.
look at past trailers, past selections. What kinds of stories do they tend to put in their program? Ask yourself, does my film belong here? Because it's kind of like you said, we don't want to put Bloom in a sci-fi or a horror, film festival. Like, you
Exactly.
have to think, like, does my film belong here? And then you want to
Mhm.
balance that list. Don't only aim for top tier. Like, yeah, cons, that's great. Like every filmmaker wants to win that. But do not shy away from more local festivals or smaller festivals, because you can really build your community there. And let's kind of talk
Absolutely.
about like when we first moved to Houston. We weren't even thinking about like getting into film yet when we first moved to Houston. But I think we went to the what was it? The Houston was it the media conference that we
Yeah, we went to Houston
then we
Media.
went to the networking event on opening night. Why don't you talk like a little bit about that and just how we felt being around that community of people?
When we went to the event, you meet so many people. And I often tell Joy, like, I really believe like filmmakers and creators are probably the nicest people. Like, there wasn't one person there that was not like, hey, how you doing? What do you do? All that good stuff. So in that, we met a lot of good people. We met some very interesting people. We saw some very interesting films. And it was so good. But man, community is so important,
Yeah.
and it's good to know that you're not out there alone. that there's other people that's in the processes in the grind just as you are. But I really believe that festival for us really solidified that, hey, I think this is the industry that we really want to like dive into. And it was so cool. But the things that people will tell you, you go learn so much for just letting people talk.
Yeah.
Um, there was one gentleman, he was like, yo, take a look at this YouTube video. You know, I've been doing this film. I was working for this film in California, film company in California. Take a look at it, you know, let me know what you think, all that good stuff. I was like, oh, okay, great. And he has some really good stuff on there. So just, you know, just tips and tricks, you know, don't always come in the form of where you think it's going to come from. So that's what I learned most about the film, about the conference that we went to. But yeah, networking is key.
It really is. I feel like some of my most meaningful conversations have happened at like a smaller space. And something else I do want to say, don't just, limit yourself to the film festivals. Like find out who your film community is in whatever state that you're in. Because something else that we do is whenever we see a film networking event, we try to go to that because you want to see like who else is making films in your city because sometimes you can really just cross network between whoever's there. Like I
Absolutely.
remember we went to the Storytellers Film Conference and we literally
Mm,
had no idea what the PA that we ended up using for our film was actually at that conference. Just the conversations and the networking that happened from that event, it was game changer. So please do not just I'm not saying don't aim for the higher ones. Absolutely do, because I am. Absolutely aim for the higher ones, but please do not diminish these smaller film festivals because you can really build a meaningful community there, honestly.
absolutely.
And I think like I really want to pivot now and just kind of talk about distribution. So
Mm,
distribution is really not a one size fits all type thing, right?
no,
Being on a big platform is not for every film. I think your distribution should match the intention of your story. So we have traditional distribution, right? So that's kind of like where a company takes your film and they place it. And then you have self distribution where you control the screenings, the digital release, the strategy. And then you also have a hybrid approach. You can have a company that places it, but then you're also still involved. So, like, which approach? Like, I would say that we are obviously self distribution right now.
right.
What do you think about that approach? Which one do you think is most beneficial for an up and coming filmmaker or a new filmmaker?
For an up and coming filmmaker, you definitely want to more so control your distribution. The goal is always to get to a higher platform, whether it's your Netflixes, of course, being the highest, whether it's your Peacocks, whether it's your Amazon Prime. That's always the goal, but you have to take steps to get to that goal.
Right.
So a simple step would just be, hey, I have 10 family and friends on Facebook. Hey, I got those same 10 family members on Facebook. I also have a YouTube that they go to. Okay, let's go to YouTube. Let's do TikTok. Let's do well. Those would be pretty much the main three that I would suggest. But yeah, start there. Control your narrative. Get your views up. Get your community up. One of my favorite things that I've seen was a picture, and people see where it's like, well, they only got 300 views on this video. I'm like, okay, go to Chat GPT and type 300 people in a room, and then you would look at it a lot differently. Like 300 people do not sneeze at 300 people looking at your film. If somebody comments on your film, hey, that's even better because now they actually took a moment of their time to let you know that they enjoyed your film. So if I were to say which one is the best, definitely start off by owning it, putting up yourself, and then the people that you do have in your network, asking them, hey, go like it or go watch it. If you like it, say something. If not, hey, just put a like or something.
Right.
But at least you're starting off and just going from there. So that's my recommendation before you get to the big fish.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. I definitely think you want to kind of control your narrative in the beginning. And I think you also really want to bring it back to your purpose.
Mm,
Like for me, impact matters just as much as reach.
Mm.
Some films aren't meant for theaters. Some are meant for classrooms. Some are meant for community spaces. I know, like with Deliver Us. Deliver Us is a short film, but I'm thinking about like not just screenings, but I'm thinking about conversations and healing spaces, not just views. You know, like what is your purpose with this film? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you just trying to get views, or are you trying to make a difference, trying to be impactful? So when you think about distribution, you want to think about those things. Or do you want to grow your channel? Do you want people to be able to say like, "Hey, look what I can do"? Is it a proof of concept, or is this something that you're putting together like a full-on production that you want to shop around to different networks and studios to get placed on a larger platform? I know
Absolutely.
there are several like platforms that we probably can talk about as well. Like if being on a major platform is what you want to do, one of the most known ones is Filmhub. A lot of filmmakers use Filmhub, and they actually just launched their own streaming platform called Relay. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, just in that, like you'll be able to submit your film. There are certain requirements that you have to go through. So definitely, if you're interested in distribution, you want to make sure you research that before you film your movie, because there are certain requirements and sizes and things that you'll need to be able to submit it for distribution. You can't just shoot it with your iPhone and then submit it. It's going to go through quality control and it's going to get kicked back. And we know about that. Like when we submitted, I think it was Jesus and Me to film,
Yeah.
it got kicked back because they was like, these specifications are not right. So definitely do your research on, they're called aggregators. Do your research on different aggregators that can sell your film or sell your TV series or documentary, whatever it is for you. What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on Film Hub? Because I mean, you've been in there a little bit too.
Yeah, Film Hub is really dope. It's actually a very dope platform. Um, Film Hub, if done correctly, can be a game changer. If you upload your film, especially if you are owning your community. We will talk about owning your community in another video because that's a whole nother subject. But if you are owning and you control the community that you have, and you put something up there that is of good worth, a good film, a good documentary, a good series, a good short, whatever the case may be, you can definitely do well as far as reach, and you can do well as far as financially if you place it on Film Hub and they release it on Relay. It's a very good look. So definitely do your due diligence, follow the instructions, follow the the qualifications that they have in order to put it up there. But man, if you do it right, Film Hub could be your best friend. And Film Hub will also make sure that you are fully in compliance with certain industry standards, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we learned. That's what I learned anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And Film Hub, they also have a list of all the different platforms that they try to sell to. So if you know ahead of time, like, okay, these are all the platforms that they sell to, you can go and look at their platforms, their stream, and see what type of content they're looking for and see if it's something that whatever you film, your movie, your TV series, you can see if it's a good fit. Honestly, you really just want to have a plan. Like last week, we talked about preparation. It's the same thing with festival strategy and distribution. And I really just wanted to give you all just a couple of like practical things, checklist, I guess, if you will, to kind of help you on your film journey. So before you submit your film to Film Hub, or I don't think we mentioned Film Freeway is where
Mhm.
you can submit for festivals. So
Right.
before you submit to either one of those places, you want to make sure you have a locked in final film, right? You want to make sure you have a clear log line. It's a log line. So it's a line. You don't want to have a long paragraph. You want to have a clear log line. All right. You want to have a director's statement in your voice. A trailer would be great that can actually represent your film, and just a simple festival plan. Um, I think if you start there, like you're really ahead of the game. Honestly, I wish I would have known that when we did Bloom. I wish I would
Man.
have had a checklist on things that we should do because we kind of work backwards a little bit with
Right.
Bloom. But I'm telling you, if you start here and have a plan, like you're really good to go. What do you think?
Absolutely. In all things, get an understanding and
Here
just
you go.
start
Come
by
on, you preaching every week.
listen. I don't know why, but
It's in
yeah,
you.
don't start. Not here. Don't start. No, but in all things that you do, get a plan. Have a plan, have a better understanding of what the end goal is. Actually, you should really start with the end goal when you start actually writing your script to know what you're trying to get to and control. So, yeah, I echo everything that you just said.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, I really just want to like leave you with this. Like your film, it deserves more than hope. It deserves strategy. It deserves clarity, and it deserves a filmmaker who believes in where it is going. So please put together a plan. Please don't be discouraged if you submit to festivals and you don't win. Don't let anything stop you. If you have this vision for a film, then you have everything that you need to complete it and to see it to the end. So please keep going, but please plan for where you're going. The world needs your story, and I really want you all to tell it.
If you are able to imagine it, then you're able to create it. Everything that you imagine in your mind, you are able to actually put forth and make it come to pass. So, in everything that you do, plan, work, go for it.
I love it. We will see you all next week. Please make sure you join us, subscribe to All Things Joy, and stay tuned for all updates with All Things Joy with Kyle Bird and with Joy Park Studios. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.